I'm doing the podcast.
You're live on Juju's Jungle. Oh, that's not what I meant. Hi, my name is Phyllis and I'm Juju's friend.
Juju's friend.
Like, right here? In front of everyone?
Well, that's not what I was.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Juju's Jungle. Today I have another good friend with me. She is a tattooist, a painter, a singer even though people don't know. Always the life of the party, my BFF Phyllis, aka Phia.
Hi, Georgina. Oh God, I can already see how this is gonna go.
Yeah, I'm already warm.
I'm sweating.
I've been so cold in this room. Okay, hello.
Hi, Georgina.
Hi, Phyllis.
I missed you.
I miss you. Phia works every single day, so I never get to see it.
This is very true.
Introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
Hi, I'm Phia.
Let's talk about how we met. Because I was trying to remember, and I don't know that I do.
remember.
Oh, tell me.
Yeah, you came to my house to get a tattoo.
Wait, that's the first time we met?
Yes.
In real life?
Yes.
We had never met in real life.
We had never
before
met.
that?
You hit me up on Instagram to get a tattoo from me because Marty.
We had been following each other for a while, though, right? I feel like.
Yes, but we didn't. No.
Because I was following you before you did tattoos, and then I feel like I saw you doing, right?
Well, remember we met the first time at was it Marty's show or something? I think his mom was there,
yeah.
and then we didn't know that we met. We didn't realize. And then I think maybe we followed each other that day, and then after that, you would hit me up to get a tattoo, and then Marty pulled up while the tattoo appointment was happening to come roll up, and then he was like, "Y'all have already met," and we were like, "No, we haven't," and he was like, "Yes, you have."
That's so crazy because that means we've only been friends since COVID. Because you
Yes,
started tattooing
100%.
during COVID.
Yeah,
I'm jumping
100%.
through my questions that I was supposed to ask you, but fuck. But so we've been friends for like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, it hasn't. I mean, no. No. It was at the very beginning of COVID. Like,
When was that?
you were like one of the
Was that
first people
2019?
I tattooed. Yeah, for sure.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like number 6 or 7, I think.
No, something like that. Like, it was definitely, and you probably have like 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah. I should have worn, I don't even have a shirt on underneath this, so I can't even like
So
show
you
it
should
off.
take it off.
Well, I'm wearing kind of an ugly bra. It'd be embarrassing.
It's okay.
You know, like when you don't wear cute undergarments and everybody's like, let's go swimming in a pool in our bra and underwear. And you're like, fuck.
Yes.
I've never been there, but I imagine. Okay, so we met through your tattooing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. I just remember it being it was just a very precious moment. Like, you walked in and we were both just like giddy and we're like, hi, okay, well, I'm going to give you a tattoo.
We're friends now.
Like,
And I'm going to give you a tattoo.
we're all excited.
I love that.
Yeah. And then I think that was the way that we kept hanging out. You just kept booking me for tattoos. And then we started just being like, well, let's hang out like before and after
Let's
the
be
appointment.
real friends.
Like, yeah.
Let's get drunk after. Tell me about young Phia. What were you like as a little nugget?
When I was a little nugget, let's see. I was definitely always like a little, like all my pictures from growing up, I was like posing, like doing the most, just being like extra. So
Nothing's changed?
yeah, nothing's changed. And then I got older and I started the overthinking began. And then I became somebody who was like, I don't know, I would like hide in the bathroom during recess or like in the auditorium because like I was afraid nobody would like want to talk to me and like what that would look like if people like saw me not getting talked to. So I was just.
Do you remember like something specifically that made that shift in you change?
Well, I mean, I've been this height since 6th grade and my feet have been a size 10 since I was 10 years old, and I had to get laser hair removal in 8th grade and I had teeth that were this far apart. So
bullying, maybe?
Yeah. And like I remember confessing like my love to like crushes and them being like, the feeling's not mutual, and like that shit just got me. But yeah, that happened for a really long time and I kept kind of being an overthinker. But honestly, I feel like I would attribute some of my confidence to smoking weed. Because I started when I was 14.
Makes you not overthink.
I think it was that, and my little head-ass self, like, thought I was cool because I was, like, 14 years old.
So
like,
it gave you confidence.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, I'm a badass
I was
now.
like, okay, like, the 18-year-old boys are waiting for me outside to go smoke in the car, and I'm going to walk out with them, and I thought it was so cool, like, the seniors, and then, I don't know, I just convinced myself I was cool, and then...
I love that, though.
I think that's what happened. And also, it just quieted the voices, like... Not that I'm insane, but
no,
like
I 100% agree with that.
Quieted the voices in my head, and like I would like focus on, like hyper focus on things that were kind of meaningless but present, versus like things that weren't actually happening but I was worried about.
Interesting.
So instead of worried about like what other people were thinking, it was more so like, I don't know, just weird little, you know, the kind of weird stuff that you fixate on when you're high.
Yeah. Interesting.
That is what shifted. And then, but I was really, I guess, cold throughout high school because I know when I graduated, wow, there's really beautiful things going in my throat right now.
Hack it off.
Yeah. When I graduated high school, I remember these girls coming up to me and telling me like, oh, like, just so you know, like, I didn't know you were nice, but like all high school I didn't talk to you because like I thought you were mean and blah, blah, blah. And my mom would get on me for having what is now considered resting bitch face.
Okay.
And then I started biting the corners of my mouth to like not be frowning. And
That's
then
a thing?
I don't know. That's what I used to do because I know that I would accidentally like bite them off all the time.
Interesting.
But to not be like that. And then after they said that, it got to me, and I came out here and I started working in the service industry, and I realized that like being bubbly is like a thing.
Yeah.
And it's not weird. And I just started becoming comfortable in my own skin, and yeah.
So you feel like you've always been quirky, but you just like never were confident enough to like fully be that? Because I would consider you like very quirky in a good way. Like that's a compliment.
Yeah, no,
I mean okay.
Even if it wasn't, I don't think it's false. So if it was an insult, I'd be like, yeah. I think that I just, well, no, it also was, I was also really just like, because of the overthinking, in order to overcompensate for that, I became really like emotionally detached. So like my relationships in high school ended usually because like I was emotionally detached, and they would tell me that. They were like, I just feel like you don't care. I was like, you're not wrong. Yeah. And then I moved out here, got some friends, lost one of my best friends. And when I lost him, it just, I don't know, something like reformatted inside me. And all of a sudden, like I used to be somebody who never cried during movies, never like all this, I don't know, I just didn't have emotion like that. And then after I lost my friend, something changed in me, and I became the most emotional person. And I think that really ended up, like I hate that I lost him, but I owe all of my friendships now to him, because I wouldn't have opened up ever in this way to become vulnerable enough to like be as close to people as I am now.
That's so interesting. Was he the first person you knew to have died?
I had known, like, I guess there were other people, but it was the first time I had lost a best friend, and it was definitely the first time I had lost somebody to suicide. Yeah. So it was just really...
And how old were you?
He was 21. I think I was just about to turn 20. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
Yeah, it was really crazy. And we lived like a block from each other. Like it was just very much in my face. And at that time, I was only close to 2 people in LA. And it was just like us 3 always. And one of them being one of my exes. And when we stopped talking and we both lost him, it just felt like my world stopped. Yeah. But nobody around me like I could relate to, because nobody else knew him like that, because we didn't really like...
Interesting.
I don't have all the friend groups I have now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so interesting. My hometown, like, we lose so many people to suicide and overdose. Like, I think there's a hard difference between, like, to tell the difference between those two things. And like car wrecks and stuff, but I've just like known so many people that passed away. I'm like, is that why I'm so emotional?
I mean, honestly, I feel like because it does change something in you because you don't process things the same way. I feel like I had a certain numbness to me that like I don't have the luxury of having anymore.
Yeah, I feel like when you lose someone, you lose like the ignorance, or like not ignorance, maybe that's not the right word. Like naive.
Yeah.
Naive.
Yeah.
Like you lose that naivety.
Yeah. What is that? Oh yeah, wait.
Naivety.
I wanted to say it, but I think I'm
that's right,
pronouncing it
though.
wrong.
It's naive.
Yeah.
But what if it's in that naivety? That's not a real world.
But I think that
I was doing vocal exercises earlier, and my vocal exercises were, "Hello, I'm Juju. I can speak in full sentences. Hello, I'm Juju. I use words well. Hello, I'm Juju."
And it obviously worked really, really well.
Yeah. Well, it's my first time trying it.
You should
maybe that's not
what's
the right.
it? Red leather, yellow leather?
I should not. I can't say my R's and my W's. You know this, right? That would be embarrassing. Okay, so you grew up in Chicago.
Yeah, I was born out here.
Okay, you were born in California, in LA? Mm-hmm. And then when did you move to Chicago?
I think I was like 5. And then grew up there 13 years, moved back here as soon as I graduated.
And you lived like in Chicago.
In downtown.
I feel like everybody, at least that I meet, 99% of the people I meet that are like, I'm from Chicago, live like an hour and a half away.
Oh, for sure.
You were in the city.
Yeah, no, like if you know Navy Pier, there's like the one building like on Navy Pier. And like that was the one I grew up in. And I used to get on people too, or I guess I still do, depending on, you know, my mood. But if somebody would be like, I'm from Chicago, and then you find out they're not. But also you think about it, and I talk to some people, and some people think Chicago's a state. So I'm like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah. So if somebody says like they're from Aurora or something, like in Illinois, the thing is that like people just don't have any way of knowing where that is.
And
so,
I
like,
do think that's how
understand.
it like originated. I think that's why it originated. Like people just say Chicago because it's the recognizable city closest to them. Mm-hmm. But like no, because I'm never like I'm from St. Louis. Like no, I'm not. I'm not from there.
But if there wasn't the Ozarks show, people wouldn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
I would still say that I would say before Ozark, I would say I'm from a really small town right in the middle of Missouri.
True. Okay.
I would never say I'm from St. Louis because I'm not.
Yeah.
Sorry, tangent.
No,
anyway,
that makes sense.
You lived in Chicago. So being like in the city, you went to grade school, high school, all the way through high school, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was not a question. All the way through high school. So how did you get to school? Like you rode the metro?
For grade school, I definitely had to get driven to school because I went to this weird school that you like learn 2 grades ahead, and it was really far. So my mom would have to drive me there and back. And then when I always went to Chicago public school, and then high school, I went to Peyton in downtown, and I would just either like skateboard to school, or I would walk or take the train or take the bus. But yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. Cool. And then you moved back to LA after high school.
Yeah, right after.
Your mom moved with you too?
Yeah, no, my brother had been scouted by a modern day football team, so he had like my dad and him moved first. Oh, and then to get me, so that way they were already here to get me the in-state tuition when I moved. Oh, and then my mom and I followed. Yeah.
It's freaking smart. My dad told me his one critique on my podcast so far is that I use the F-bomb too much. So I'm trying to...
Does that also apply for me? I'll try really hard.
Well, no, because you're only on here one time, so you can... I feel like you got it limited, right?
Okay, cool.
Right? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm going to say frickin' though.
Okay.
That's better, right?
Yeah.
Than fuck. Frick.
Well, now you said one of them, so now
shit.
you only...
I mean... It's so hard. Gosh dang it. Okay, so that was really smart of them though, so you could get in-state for college. Yeah. Because that is such a big price difference. Mm-hmm. So your parents, when did your parents separate? Why did I think that was in high school?
Technically, I mean they're not divorced yet. Or if they are gonna get divorced, I don't know. But they're separated. Okay. And they've been separated, I think. God, I think it's been like 2.5 years or something.
Whoa, why do I feel like it was longer than that?
No.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Well, because my dad moved to Puerto Rico, like, before they separated.
When was that?
Gosh, those years are such a blur. I mean, it had to be, like, maybe 2 years before they had separated. So that was, like, maybe 4 years ago.
So, like, COVID times, too.
Ish,
right before.
Yeah.
Kind of right before.
Like, yeah.
It's interesting because I haven't met your dad yet, but I've met your mom.
Wait, what?
Did I?
I guess not. That's so weird. Okay. Yeah, I guess not.
When would I have met him?
I don't know, but I just thought you had met. Okay.
Well, we're just learning. We've only been friends for 3 fucking years. Freaking shit.
It has
Nuts.
There you go. I could use nuts.
3 nuts years.
Yeah. What was the question?
What was I saying? Oh, it's interesting to me because I've never met your dad.
Yeah.
But I've met your mom, and I know, like, I feel like I kind of know your dad. I know enough about him. They just seem so polar opposite to me. Which,
and that was always it, but it always
so
works.
Interesting.
And, like, that's why, I don't know, I still, regardless of their separation, like, I hold their love to definitely be the standard that I want in my life. Because throughout growing up, I remember, like, because obviously I told you I started smoking when I was 14. And I would be trying to sneak around downtown Chicago, like, not getting caught smoking. But I would always end up, like, in the stickiest situations because my parents would always be, like, just walking all around downtown holding hands. Like, and then sitting outside having wine at places. And I would just get caught because they were, like, around everywhere. Like, it didn't matter. I would be, like, thinking I was slick. And then all of a sudden, there are my parents, like, walking hands on a date.
That's wild because Chicago is, like, a pretty big city with so many people walking on the streets.
But luckily, my dad has really horrible facial recognition. So I will never forget. I was leaving high school. I'm so sorry, Mom and Dad, if you didn't know that I did this. But, like, I was smoking a cigarette on the same block as I was leaving. And my dad walks right past me on the sidewalk, and I just knew I was screwed. There was nobody else on the sidewalk. This man did not recognize me.
That's incredible.
I was like...
That is hilarious.
So that definitely came to my advantage. My mom, on the other hand, no. She's Hawkeyes. But yeah. So yeah, but they're definitely very opposite people. But they're the way that they were towards each other. My parents were all like, my brother and I all throughout growing up were always like, ew, because they were always kissing in front of us and, like, never not touching and always, like, arms around each other.
Makes sense why you're so touchy-feely.
Exactly. Like, I don't know how to not be.
Yeah.
Like so
let's talk about your culture.
Yeah. My mom is Pakistani. She grew up in Karachi, in Bahrain, in Dubai. That she's Muslim. Definitely a Western version because my mom still likes to go out clubbing and stuff and wears the, like, you know, her little numbers. We definitely, I would say that I dress, you know, I'm a little out there. My mom and I definitely have some of the same clothes, and she definitely wears some of them way better than I do. So.
Okay, don't say way better. That's not true. Just differently. I mean, she's hot, but, you know. She's pretty hot.
She has her little, like, you know, touch to it, because I definitely look like a white girl during winter time.
I also, like, could be totally wrong, but I feel like you being, like, really open with the way you dress and your sexuality, I feel like has kind of, like, made your mom open up a little bit more. You don't think she's gotten more comfortable?
No, you did not see the way my mom used to dress growing up.
Oh, really?
All throughout growing up, like, my brother would always catch my mom, like, right before she would leave the house, and he'd be like, what are you wearing? And trying to stop her. And my dad just, like, never cared.
That's so interesting because I feel like you, like, take time to be thoughtful about, like, how you're presenting yourself, like, sexually, how you're presenting yourself for your family. So who are you doing that for if it's not your grandma or your mom? Like, your grandma?
Well, my mom, that's the thing about, like, I think that's what she not struggles with, but just something that is in her life of, like, when you grow up that way, you know, but then you're here for so long. And on top of that, you love a lifestyle that isn't, like, fitting in to, like, Muslim beliefs. But then at the same time, pray every day. She's just at, like, I don't know, like, okay, if this helps like describe, like, so in Chicago, the nightclub scene, like when it was done, the food that would be open was these like Pakistani Indian late night places. But because the way she was dressed, she would go in there and like pretend like to speak Spanish because she didn't want them judging her on it. But then at the same time still wants that food, but then doesn't want them to know. And then I remember she got caught, I think one time, because they said something and she like responded in Urdu, and then they were like, huh? And then that was
interesting. I do get that though. I growing up Catholic, like obviously it's not as far as like clothing goes as strict as Muslim, but I get it in that like you want to find, it's hard sometimes to find the balance of like, for me at least, I have like such a respect for my culture, and like I love that my grandma loves church, and like I think the churches are beautiful. I love to go and like sing when my grandma's playing the organ, like I'll sing these hymnals, like I love all that, but I struggle sometimes to find the balance of like, but I'm also a beautiful woman and I'm allowed to be that.
I mean, you were with me when that happened, like in my life. Like I was living with you when that day happened where it was freaking Marty's music video. Yeah. And then when that video was coming out and I thought it was going to be different than it was, I just realized, I was like, I'm going to have a talk with my parents about it coming out. And then I had to explain to all of them, I was like, at the time I was about to turn 25. And I was like, I'm about to be 25. I'm financially independent now. I've been financially independent. At this point, it's kind of weird to be asking my parents for permission when I'm 100%. Really not doing anything so bad. And at the same time, like I was modeling clothes for my mom's store that were bikinis, but then a set of lingerie that might even be less revealing than a bikini was like inappropriate.
Really
but it's like, you know, it was but having that talk, it was just a weird transition. And then I remember I had my mom and a whole bunch of my family members and stuff blocked for like a long time. And then my mom like sat me down one day and we were a couple of glasses of wine in like at lunch. And then she was like, well, can't you just unblock me and then block me when you post something bad? And I was like, but you're still going to see it when I unblock you. Like make up your mind.
Yeah. And also like you said, like I am an adult. I am financially stable, and like I want you to follow me and support me and be proud of me, but at the end of the day, like, you don't get a say. So if you want to be unblocked.
Yeah. I told her, I was like, we have a beautiful, I remember like my exact conversation with her is we have a beautiful relationship, mother-daughter. Like I don't know a lot of people that have as close of a relationship as we do.
I would agree.
And I hate that that's jeopardized just because I am, you know, I didn't grow up where you grew up. I grew up here, and my dad is also from like middle of America, small town. It's Oglesby, Illinois, that no one's even heard of. Like, and that's also part of my culture too. I'm embracing both sides, but if you think that if you start to view me as a reflection of you and start getting upset because you think that what I'm doing is affecting your image, I want you to know that like I'm my own person, and like nothing that I do speaks badly on you. You did everything right. You're an amazing mom. Like I didn't.
But she was probably, whether she was feeling it in real life or just in her head, feeling pressure from like maybe the older women in your family.
She definitely was like always concerned about, she's like, what is going to happen when your aunts and uncles and blah blah see this? And that's when I was like, I have the entire family blocked. I did it for you, so that way you know that I won't embarrass you. And then once it came to like, I think once it was in her brain that way, she was like, oh, I don't think she ever thought to make me feel like I was embarrassing the family. And then I think once she saw it that way, it was like, that's not what I was intending to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I want to talk about your trip to visit the homeland.
That was incredible. It was a month, and we first went to Dubai, and then after that we went to Karachi, and then after that we went to Islamabad. And it was just to experience the most insane wealth and most insane poverty within the same like trip in one time. It was just such an eye-opener. And
you have family in Dubai?
Yeah.
And Dubai is the rich you're talking about, I'm assuming?
Yeah, but also in Islamabad and also in Karachi, like they're like, because while you see poverty and whatnot on the streets, like, but then you pull up to like my family's house in Karachi and they've got like the guys with rifles outside and it's a beautiful mansion, and like, I know this sounds weird, but like they have servants and you're not like doing things for yourself. But then you get outside and like even getting into your car, like I wasn't supposed to be alone in a car with a driver, or
interesting.
Yeah,
just because you're a woman.
Yeah.
In both those places, or
I'm trying to remember in Dubai if it was like that. I think that was more, it wasn't as serious like in Dubai, but in Karachi for sure, and in Islamabad, it's not like against the law or anything, but just you wouldn't. Plus, especially me looking like me when I was there, like there was nobody else that I saw that looked like me.
I was gonna ask, did you like?
I dressed in traditional garb every day, and I put my hair up in a thing and like covered my tattoos. And it's not like that was necessary, but just, you know, when people haven't seen somebody that looks like anything around them, like they just, it's not the kind of concept of like, the concept of staring is very different there than here. Like here people are aware of like, okay, don't stare. Like there it's very much like,
and they were staring at you because you were less covered than like most of the women?
No, it's not even less covered. I just
don't
look different. Yeah. I just look, you know, like I don't look like a traditional Pakistani girl. Like luckily it was in summer, so I looked a little bit browner, but I still had blonde hair at the time. I still had like tattoos. Yeah. But yeah, the trip was incredible. Seeing my family, it really made so much sense why my brother and I are the way we are. Like even though we hadn't been around that family, when we got there, it's very much like your uncles and your cousins and your everything, they're all sitting like sprawled on the bed, laying on top of each other, just talking, like grandparents sitting on the floor. Like that's not, you know, what normally happens here. It just didn't feel as formal. Interesting. And it was very affectionate and just nice. It was, really beautiful.
Were you like able to drink alcohol in those countries?
So they have this thing called Murray, which is like bootleg liquor that they make there. However, and I'm hoping I'm remembering this correctly, but like I'm pretty sure there's a certain type of Murray where like because it's not distilled as many times or something along the lines, like it's known to like make people go blind over time. Like it's dangerous to drink. Shit. Yeah. So like when we would go to parties and stuff there, they would save the special, like the stuff that was from the US, like for us, and nobody else would like touch that bottle, and then everybody else would drink the Murray because they were worried if it was gonna like hurt our stomachs or whatever it was. The same way. Not used to it. Yeah, like how when we were there, we didn't eat a lot of like salads, because if it's washed in the water and it's not washed in like bottled water, then you're kind of prone to getting sick. Yeah.
What was your diet mostly?
I mean, as long as it's cooked, you're good. So like a lot of lamb, a lot of chicken, a lot of rice, a lot of like vegetables that are cooked, like eggplant, okra, stuff like that.
Never really ate anything raw though?
My mom did one day because she got cocky and she was like, I'm from here, and she like had a carrot, and then Shorty was like out the game for like 2 days.
Really? Just from like water contamination?
Yeah, just the carrot washed in the water. Wow. And it was at a really, really nice restaurant too, but like people like forget, like your stomach is so not used to it, you know?
That's wild.
We're very spoiled here in the US. But that being said, the food is delicious. The way that here, it's like hard for me to have like a salad without some kind of protein or cheese or something. But there I could eat a plate of just straight veggies or like lentil, whatever, chickpeas, and it's so good.
Because things are like actually fresh as opposed to here where we're like getting things.
Well, but just like the spices and the amount of effort that they put in and how long they take to cook things. It's really amazing.
While we're talking about food, I would love to talk about your journey with your body and bodybuilding and food and how all those three things are connected.
Yeah. When I was in I was vegan for 7 years, and that started because this like modeling agency had hit me up when I was in high school, and before that I had been on the volleyball team.
Okay.
And I had always had like a very muscular build. My mom used to call my legs like tree trunk legs because there was like just no, it was just like thick,
Muscle,
like everywhere, and there wasn't really much shape to them. But I got scouted by this thing, and I really wanted to do it. And my dad had become vegan, and he was like raw, like just juicing vegan. Like my dad has gone months on just juice. Like, it's pretty crazy.
It's incredible for your body.
Yeah, and he was like, all right, kiddo, like I will do all of your juices and stuff for you if this is what you want to do. You want to just try it for a month, like let's do it. And I did it, and I want to say I lost like 20 pounds or something crazy in like a month and a half. Wow. And but every day, like he had the mason jars for me in the fridge that were like, okay, you have to have this much of this one, this much of this one throughout the day, all that stuff. And then I stuck with being vegan. But then as I started to get more into modeling, I definitely developed an like eating disorder, and was I definitely ended up becoming anemic, but I also was bulimic and also anorexic. And I got down to like, it was like 108 pounds or something, and I'm 5'8", so that's pretty small.
Where were you? What do you know, like what your weight was at like before that first juice scene?
Oh yeah, I was probably at like 130 before.
Okay.
And then the juicing and stuff didn't make me go down to 108. It was once I moved out, and then I was able to like do these bad things, like starving myself and making myself throw up, and like you know.
What started that? Like just the pressure of the modeling, or?
Yeah, I just had such a weird thing in my head of like I just wanted to be like looking more feminine. Like again, like I told you with the like laser hair removal, like growing up and stuff. I just wanted to be skinny and not muscular. I wanted to be like hairless and not hairy. Yeah. And it just I started getting booked for shoots and like music videos, and I would walk into like just these crazy, I remember one of them specifically, it was this like Wiz Khalifa video, and all the girls in there were just like, I just looked at all of them, I was like how am I in the same room with these? They were just like, it was at the time when everybody was stick tiny.
Okay. When the trend was to be like curves like this.
Yes,
okay.
So everybody was like so small, but then also tall and like so pretty and just like perfect. And like I'm noticing little things like, you know, their bikini lines are like perfect, whereas like mine, I'm like hairy, and my happy trail and my upper happy trail and
I feel you on the hair. Like, I feel you.
So that kind of that made me do that. And then when I lost my friend, I gained 40 pounds in 2 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And were you like, before that happened, were you starting to already like kind of starve yourself, make yourself throw
I had
up,
already been.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, wait, did I say I lost? I meant I gained 40.
I know, but so you were at 130.
I was at 130 in high school, then became vegan, lost a bunch of weight, became down to like 115, I think. Then started my bad stuff.
When you moved out?
Yeah, when I moved out.
Gotcha.
And then at that same time, I had become friends with my friend. Okay. And then after I lost him, I just didn't see the point in doing anything. I was like, you know, James can't eat, why am I eating? James can't blah, 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 why am I? And then I would just be drunk and eat everything and not be doing anything like while I was drunk, and then just every day like repeat and like never open up the shades and never really do anything and walk outside. And then my parents decided that they were really worried about me, so they got me a gym membership, and I started.
I'm not laughing. And, like, I'm sure they had the greatest intentions, but, like, ask me if I'm okay.
No, they did. Okay, no. My dad was staying with me.
Because, like, a gym membership, obviously I'm not okay.
No. Okay. My dad would, like, stay at my house with me so many times and just, like, be there, and my mom would come.
So they, like, kind of gradually saw it happening. You weren't, like, hidden from everybody, gaining this weight.
They would, like, and it wasn't because I would try and, like, be around them. Like, even if I was at my shift, I used to work at, like, the Misfit in Santa Monica. And while I'd be at my shift, my parents would come there and just be sitting,
checking on you
know.
Yeah.
And the Equinox was right next to Misfit, so it was like it worked. And then I started like walking a lot, but yeah, then that happened, and then I kept being vegan for like a really long time, and then but in a healthy way. I still kept having bouts of getting really stick thin skinny out of nowhere. I wasn't bulimic anymore because I was in a relationship. So once I got in that relationship, which was about like almost 5 years, and we lived together, I wasn't able to do that kind of stuff because I would get caught, you know.
So you stopped just because you didn't want to get caught?
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't like because of anything other than that, really.
You weren't feeling like, were you feeling like mentally healthier, or were you just like, I just can't get caught, so I can't do it?
I think I thought I was mentally healthier, but I was definitely still like anorexic. Like I was definitely like barely eating. I know that I used to get like, I would unfortunately get like really drunk when I would drink because I was barely eating.
Yeah. Of course.
And now, like, drinking for me isn't the same way. I don't have, like, bad experiences because I eat enough. Like, I eat a lot now.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, I was at the gym, and this guy comes up to me and came up to me about, like, my build and was like, have you ever considered bodybuilding? And I was like, fuck no. Like, I've spent my entire life to keep muscle off me. Like, that is not something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think that I can make you win a gold medal. And I was like, well, I really don't want to do that. And he said, it's COVID. Who's seeing you? And I was like, facts. He's like, so let me train you for a month, like for free, whatever. And then you can tell me to fuck off if you don't like the way your body looks after a month. And then that'll be it. And I did it. And he had told me that he's like, look, I'll be in control of your whole I can tell you everything like perfectly for diet and whatnot, but unfortunately if you're vegan, I don't know the same. Like if I'm trying to have you have a certain amount of protein, I don't want you taking in too much soy because you're going a route of like tofu or whatever it is. He's like, I don't know how to make up for that.
He was unfamiliar.
Yeah. So then he's like, but if you're okay with eating this stuff, then I can, like, we can go to the grocery store. I can do all your groceries with you and whatnot. So I just got in the passenger seat and let him do all of it. And literally got in the passenger seat in terms of, like, at 4 a.m, he would pick me up because it was COVID and everything was closed down. And the only gym that was open was, like, a Crunch in Chatsworth, where the equipment was all outside, but Chatsworth is in the middle of the desert, so it would get hot as hell as soon as the sun came up. So we'd have to be there before sunrise and then leave by sunrise. And then after that, I would go on like a 7-mile hike by myself, like every day. Wow. But yeah, so that's when I stopped being vegan. And then even when that was happening, I definitely dealt with like mental issues of like, he would teach me an exercise and I would be like, this is gonna make my traps get bigger, like can we not do this? Like this is gonna make my legs look bigger, like can we not do this? And he was like, you need to like understand that this is now something that now that I train people, I try and explain to them. I'm like, you don't wake up and become the Hulk. Like you're gonna notice your body going in that direction before you get to a point where you're unhappy with. So, like, just see where it goes and be okay with that, because you can stop doing that exercise or whatever the hell is, like, bothering you. Yeah. And it also takes a lot of eating in order to put on that size. Like, if you're not eating properly and you're just, like, working out, like, you'll get cut, but you can't bulk up the same way. Yeah. But so I did do it. I think he picked me up and, like, it started beginning of August. And then my first competition, the only competition I did was Muscle Beach, and it was in November, and I won 3 gold medals, and then I retired.
3 gold medals and I retired.
But it was I loved my body then, but I honestly love my body so much more now, because now I'm not scared of putting on size and I want to put on size. Recently I've been annoyed at my body because I've been trying to like keep my size, but if I don't force feed myself, I just keep losing weight, and I don't want to do that. Yeah. Because I was really happy with myself when I was at like 150, and that's crazy for me in my brain to like, I know like on my ID and stuff, like I lied about my weight to make it like 132 because I wanted it to be smaller, 125. And now I hate the fact that I'm at like 130.
When you're like eating, do you ever like have those moments, even if they're quick, that is like still that coming back in your head that's like you shouldn't be this muscular? Or
no, honestly, I don't get. Now I've changed my viewpoint. I owe my trainer so much, Nick Stiletti, for changing.
Nick Stiletti.
Yeah, he was an incredible human being who really changed my life, honestly, in so many different ways, because now I get to enjoy food the way that I enjoy food, because even throughout growing up, like part of the reason why I was so muscular in high school is I definitely ate like 5 meals a day. And when I say like 5 meals, like the thing of pasta that I would eat was like this big. Like my dad would call me like piggy, and I would get really mad about it. And then now I was like, wait, but I was piggy, and I am, and it's okay. Like it was like,
because you have a balance.
Yeah,
like you're not just like overeating. You're eating a lot and also working out.
Yeah.
Like it's a beautiful balance. Now.
Yeah. Now
and look at your sexy ass body. You want to stand up and show them your body, baby.
My kneecaps. But yeah, now I have like I like the things that I used to be like trying to hide before I would hated like how like my back would get muscular or my thighs or anything like that. And I remember not wanting like a big butt for a while, and it's just so crazy to think that like now like what.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now you're killing it.
Thanks, dude.
Let's talk about. Wait, how much time do we have? Okay, we got some time. Should we talk about living together? Let's hear it from your point of view first.
Fuck.
What I have to say about that time in your life is hilarious because you were only the way you were, at least since I've known you. You were only that way during the time you lived with me. And every other moment I've known you since, you have been a perfect little angel.
Yeah. I know.
But for some reason... How long
it was not for some reason.
Well, yeah. It wasn't for some reason. For sure, it was not for some reason.
Yeah.
You were going through a breakup, and you definitely were...
I was going through a breakup where I hadn't been single since... I hadn't even been over 21 and been single, you know? Yeah.
And you had been living together, which is just like a whole other type of attachment.
Yeah. And then it also really messed with my head because like I felt like I found so much of myself when I went on my vacation to go visit my family, and he cheated on me while I was on that vacation to visit my family. So yeah, it was like such like it was just so crazy to be like rewired in such a good way and then come home and then be like short circuiting. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then and then after trying to work it out for that many months after the fact, which was like, I think I gave it a good 8 months, and we did like marriage. I mean, we're not married, but we did like marriage counseling and whatnot. But throughout those months, I just got so used to waking up to crying and falling asleep crying and also being the only one crying, which also messed me up.
Yeah, 100%.
And I would get panic attacks. I started picking up vaping again because that would help my panic attacks at work.
Yeah.
And and then I decided I couldn't try and keep up with trying to make things work while living in the same place. So we tried to make things work when I was staying with a friend. And during that time of me staying with a friend, you and I used to FaceTime like multiple times a day, like every day.
What was crazy was, I'm not saying that I'm a witch, but I am. And I feel like I would be sitting at home and I would be like, Phia's having anxiety right now. And I'd call you and you would be sitting on your toilet bawling.
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew it. And that was like for a while, which is also so funny. Not funny. That part's not funny. But you moving in with me, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm mentally prepared to like deal with me crying every day. And that is not what happened. I don't think you cried a single time.
Well, because
maybe a couple.
I think it was the day. Well, because during that time of when I had left and was staying with my other friend, it was a lot of crying throughout that whole period. Mm-hmm. And then by the time I was finally like done, I knew I had like a last straw, and like, yeah, I once that had happened, I had mentally prepared myself. I was like, if this happens again, then I give up. I'm done. Yeah. And then that was like, I think the day I moved into your place. So that's why that all went that way.
Yeah.
But
you had a fun time.
I did. I know it was probably not great for all of you guys. But I did.
All I could do is laugh. Like we're not even gonna tell you.
Yeah, we're not even gonna.
You don't even get to know.
What I can say was it was definitely probably like a 3-month or 4-month long bender.
100%. Like
yeah.
I genuinely don't know how you were functioning. And not like a bender. You were going to work 6 days a week, fully functioning at work.
And I would go to the gym at 7 a.m. Still wasted from the day before.
You would get home at 2 a.m.
Yep.
Go to the gym.
Yep.
Come home, shower.
Yep.
Go to work.
Oh, no, I was about to say, I was like, when I'd be in the shower, you'd be rolling up on the toilet, and then we'd be talking the entire time.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful.
And then you went to work, and then you wouldn't even come home from work. You would like, I don't know, would you have clothes with you, or were you always going out in your work clothes?
I did often go out in my uniform.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of times you would not come home in between going out and arriving back home at 2 a.m.
Yeah, but I also would like bring everybody who I was going with me to the house.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know.
So many, and I'd be like, this is like,
yes, I know.
Film a music video, bring the entire crew back to the house.
I would be laying in my bed in the morning and be like, well, Drew slept over and so-and-so slept over,
like,
or
just people littered all over.
So-and-so slept over.
Yeah, I just was so happy to like not be sad.
And you know what? I will say, like, yes, benders are not healthy, and yes, you were probably over consuming.
Yeah.
However, like, from my point of view, like, as the roommate who was watching you while the fuck out, I never was watching you while out and be like, I'm concerned about her. Like,
yeah. I wasn't doing anything bad.
You never came home like puking everywhere, tripping everywhere. You were loud as fuck, but that's you.
Yeah.
And you always came with people, but that's you. Yeah. Like, it wasn't, you were always, it seemed like, very in control.
Oh, yeah.
But definitely like partying your way through a breakup, for sure.
For sure. Well, because they had just, I went through my mourning it for so many months of sticking in it and trying to make it work. Mm-hmm. Like, usually, I guess people like go through that after the breakup. But, like, it had been so long of just, like, trying to make it work and being depressed that, like, when it finally ended, like, I had already,
and
grieved.
You said there was, like, something very specific that, like, made that switch flip for you?
Yeah. For me, when the dialogue, if nobody should ever tell, like, if you're with somebody, if you're, like, in a relationship with someone, I've never heard my parents ever, in all of everything they've been through and whatnot, I've never heard my parents ever say, get the fuck out of my face, or get the fuck out of my car, or get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah.
And, my person said that to me multiple times. And then after crying about it a few times, and then the last time it happened, and before the last time it happened, I remember saying to myself, like, I had a couple friends I was talking to about it, and I was like, I can't have that. I can't do it again. Like, I can't. And then when it did happen the last time, it just, like, I just felt it. I was, that's it. Yeah. Like, you can't convince somebody at that point. If somebody feels that way about you, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, it was really hard for me to watch because I felt like there was a lot of gaslighting happening. And I was like, Phia, you're smarter than this. These things that you are now thinking about yourself are not true. Like, no.
It's so freaking crazy, and I see the difference so much. Like I'm in a relationship now, obviously, where like, and just to like experience, you know, the contrast of, and I mean, given obviously this is like a semi-fresh relationship, so things aren't as hard as like when you're 5 years deep.
Yeah.
But just to have, I don't know, just the communication or whatever, not just things not be like a blame is so nice, where it's like just trying to figure things out with somebody. Like if something feels wrong, to like talk it out versus
feeling like it's safe to like have an open conversation about it.
But instead, I remember like, you know, there were so many times where like I had to watch certain things because I was like, you know, like, okay, I know that this person like would tell me like I had a horrible memory, or I had I interrupted too much, or there were so many things where like every single time like an argument would happen, I would just feel stupid because I would short circuit because I had so many things I was trying to make sure I wasn't doing.
Yeah.
And then I would like realize that like I'm not actually that bad of a person after.
No, you were like genuine. It was weird. Like the things you were starting to think about yourself. I was like, wait, what?
I don't even know, man. And that's the reason why I went so, you know, when that summer happened, because I realized that like people like being like around me when I'm being myself, which was really cool.
An incredibly like bubbly, friendly person.
You know?
Yeah.
It felt so nice to be around people who like fucked with me, and where I didn't feel like I was too much. Like I know I was a lot in that house, but I still never felt like I was too much, and that was a really beautiful thing.
And I don't want to say like you're a lot, because that's not what I mean, but you are so bubbly and friendly, and you will be that person in the room that like introduces yourself to everybody, hugs everybody, makes everybody feel welcome. And those are not bad qualities. Those are real qualities about yourself, but you like really started to feel like they were bad qualities. It's like,
man.
No, you bring everybody together and you make everybody smile and laugh. Like, what?
Oh God. I just think about the things that like I remember like getting in fights because I just would be like wanting, I'd be like, do you think that maybe next time we go to a party, like we could hang out for a little bit during the party? Because like I remember like being so sad just like not getting picked to be like on his team for like beer pong or whatever it was.
Oh my goodness.
And then I think about it now and I'm like, I wasn't clingy. Like it's normal that like to think that your person would like want to be around me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy.
I don't know. So weird.
Well, you're not there now, so woo.
Definitely not there now.
You are a painter, a tattooer, so many arts, sir. Which art came first? Painting?
I would say that. I know that like when I was in like preschool and stuff, my parents would always find me in the little art area. Like I wouldn't go, they were supposed to do like stations, and the preschool teacher would always tell my parents like, she doesn't move from the art area. So that definitely started really young. But then I also know that like when I would ride this bus to school when I was in second grade, I want to say, like I had like a notebook of like lyrics that I would like write. And then I always came back home with like Sharpie all over my arms throughout growing up. My mom would get really mad. And when we would come back here and visit California and be in Hermosa Beach, because we would come visit like 2 times a year when we lived in Chicago, there was this tattoo shop right on the Strand in Hermosa that my dad would always point to me, and he's like, that's going to be the tattoo spot I buy you when you don't go to college, and we do this. And my mom would get so scared and mad, and she'd be like,
so
she's
funny.
going to college. And yeah, so then they realized that it wasn't a phase. I think they just had, my dad was like, it's going to be so cool when you're the only tattoo artist that doesn't have tattoos, my baby girl. And I was like, Dad,
hilarious.
That's not going to happen.
Okay, you are down for me to be a tattoo artist, but think I'm not going to
That's
be
what always
tattoos?
what,
Like,
he would
that's
just,
so
he
funny.
really hoped.
That's really funny.
They've definitely now both open. I mean, now I have matching tattoos with both of them. So, and I've tattooed my dad a bunch, and my mom wants me to tattoo something on her back, but that was at that time. And then like modeling, acting stuff was always young too. So I feel like it just was always kind of like happening all at once, and it never I mean, not that, I just mean like it just was but it was just all
Hi, my name's Phia. I've just been perfect since birth. Thank you.
Not that at all. But
yes, I can sing, I can tattoo, I can paint. Have you seen my face? It's hot.
okay. Well, that's not what I was.
That's clearly how you talk. I'm just kidding. Your face got red and I was the one making the joke.
I know.
Silly.
But yeah, so
but you didn't start tattooing until COVID, right?
yeah, no, I do owe that to my ex, because he started picking it up, and then he just trusted me and just didn't. I didn't even practice on skin or anything. I just started on him, and the first one went really well, and then I kept at it, and I love it. I'm definitely a very sentimental tattoo artist, because I get really emotional every time I see somebody with like a tattoo that I did on them. But yeah, I mean, I want to spend more time. It's just really hard to manage. Like, I would really wish I could pick one thing, but it's really hard to pick one thing. Like, every single time I do something, I get so excited about it, and then I want to keep doing it, and then something comes up and I get a commission for like a pair of shoes or a canvas or whatever it is, and then I want to work on that, and then or I get like hit up for another project. Like, I have this, I'm really excited, but there's this, his name is Rex. We haven't met yet, but he's this photographer, and we had, I don't know how this even like started, but we never worked out to shoot together, but then somehow like now we have 4 songs that we've like written together that we're supposed to go like make.
I love that.
And I'm really stoked about it, and like our sounds just like, I don't know, they complement each other really well, and it just it's cool because the stuff that he's writes about are like things that are, I guess they're things that he's experiencing now, but I'm able to write to because I've experienced it before. Like, I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
But I know, like,
that's a familiar interest in. So you just casually started talking about music. Are we ever gonna actually? Are we actually ever gonna get music from you? Are you gonna release?
Well, I've released something with my ex. I did do that. That was a while ago, but I just don't put that.
You didn't release it with him. You are on one of his songs on his album. That doesn't. I'm not giving. Count. I'm not allowing you to give it. Only because there's at least one song that I've heard that is good enough. And good enough. Oh, that's not what I meant. There's one song that I've heard that's fucking. Nope, can't say fucking either. Yeah, so please release the music because I've heard you and you're awesome, and I also like genuinely, I'm not gonna just say things about people's music if I don't really fuck with it. Genuinely, your voice is like familiar because you sound like
the shower from when you
I'm trying to call you unique. I don't know why I can't say it right now. Maybe your drink's so much stronger.
I think it's the kombucha mixed with tequila.
All of a sudden, I'm feeling weird in the head. I forgot what we were even talking about.
Yeah, the music, but
music. Yeah, are you gonna release any?
Yeah, no. I mean, we apparently he wants to have this out by March, so
is this gonna be like your debut? You guys are gonna do like a
so that's what had happened.
An EP like together.
Yeah. So he he had posted something on his story, and I didn't know it was him because obviously he's a photographer. And then I just like responded being like, yo, this is fucking sick. Like, what is this? And then the next story was like, really need a female vocalist like on this track that I've been working on, blah blah blah. And then I was like, oh, what? I was like, can I try? And then he was like, do you have anything? And I sent him my song that I had made by myself that I have not put out, but it's
fire.
Thank you. But he was like, he just really fucked with it, and he was like, honestly, I feel like our sounds would be really good. Why haven't you put this out? And I told him that I didn't like know what to do, and I was scared, and I didn't have anything to follow it with, and yada yada. And he was like, so I was like, why haven't you put anything out? Because I think his sound is really cool. And he was like, oh, same boat, like I'm scared. And then he hit me with like, okay, so you're scared and I'm scared, and I think our sounds work, so like maybe this would be a lot less scary if we put out our first thing together and just do like
that's so cool.
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't remember how many it's supposed to be, but I think we've got like 4 done, but we still haven't met And yeah, that's pretty
Wait,
wild.
so where are you recording your vocals? Or you haven't done any vocals, you're just writing?
So I've been writing it and then sending him
Voice
like
memos.
so that way he can hear the
Yeah.
melodies and stuff that I've been writing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm really excited about it. And
Yeah,
also,
y'all should probably meet up.
we should probably meet. He actually, I think, lives like
Because
not far
March
from
is in like 2 months.
I know. Yeah, it's bad. But it's nice that like every single time he sends me something, it's like been like he is just it's so relatable in terms of that, where like I can send him back something in like 2 hours.
Fire. That's incredible.
But
finding like chemistry like that is cool. Like just being able to like feel comfortable and like just to vibe.
Yeah. And
you have your phone on you? Okay, so I want you to play for me with your phone.
You already know what song.
I want you to play for me a song that reminds you of each other.
Yeah, but you already know what it is. And it's already on your other one with the rest of the girls.
Oh, okay. So then I have a different one. Ha ha.
You do?
Yep.
Wait, it's not.
Play
Shout
your
out
song.
to your mama. Shout out to your mother.
Play
You
your
made
song.
a beautiful dada.
I want to hear it.
Wait,
Play it.
what song?
The one that you're singing. You're singing Late Night Jiggy? That's your song?
Yeah.
There's no wrong answers. Why are
Yeah.
you getting nervous?
I don't know. I got scared.
There's no wrong answer.
It's this one, right?
I think you're singing Ghana's.
Yeah. This one.
Shout out to your mama. Shout out to your father. They made a beautiful daughter.
May I?
Yeah.
This song reminds me of us.
No.
This song right here.
Is it Joy Crooks? Feet don't fail me now. Did you see that she's in my recent search? It was like the third one there.
I was actually expecting you to immediately be like, Joy Crooks.
I love her so much.
If I'm allowed to have dream collabs for you, it's her. I feel like your guys'
that would be so
voice, your tones would just be like.
And I love that she's Daisy too.
She's what? I'm sorry.
She's Daisy, or she's like, I think isn't she like Indian?
I'm not sure. What is
thought
that
she
word
was.
that you said? What does that mean?
Daisy
Yeah, what's that
means
mean?
like Pakistani Indian.
Oh,
Like part.
like it means you're both?
No, just like.
Oh, just
I
like
guess,
that's
like,
a.
I feel like it'd be kind of like how you say like Hispanic, but like Hispanic like encompasses a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't think Daisy like, cause it doesn't like for example like Iran is right next to Pakistan, but like Iran
They
you're
wouldn't
Persian, you're not Desi. It's like a different.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of know what you mean. Like, I feel like Hispanic is a good way to explain it.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's more regional. That's interesting.
I think it's literally just.
It's probably
Indian
like
and
slang or
Pakistani.
something.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't really hear that many people use it unless they're.
But I do think she's Indian.
I think
could
she
be wrong.
is.
Now,
I'm
I don't
pretty
wanna
sure.
say it
I
'cause
want to
then
say
I'm
she's
nervous.
like British Indian or something
Yeah,
like that.
she's definitely British. Okay, so basically, your voice sounds like Joy Crooks. You're gonna release music in
That would be
March.
tight.
We're getting a full EP in March.
And I really want to, my boyfriend is an amazing producer, and I really want to get I know that like when we had first met when I was like 18, I was obsessed with his music that he made. But then I don't know. I just thought he was way cooler than me. So I didn't like.
He has a good voice too, I feel like,
I know,
right?
He does, yeah. And
Oh my god, you guys couldn't get a lot of thought.
Yeah, but he makes me freaking nervous. So like I don't think I could ever. But I really want to do something with him. But he just makes me nervous. So I don't know how to. I know that's weird, right? But it does.
I'll fuck you all night long, fully nude, but I can't make a song with you because that makes me nervous.
I mean, ooh, I was about to say something, but I probably shouldn't say that.
Say it.
I'm like, well, in one regard, I feel confident in what I'm bringing to the table, and then the other, I feel like he's a lot better.
good. But also you're so talented and you are just an overthinker.
I am an overthinker.
For sure.
But yeah, that would be cool. And I really want to put this out in March, so we'll see. Fingers crossed.
I hope you do.
Me too.
Is there anything you want to plug? We've talked about, anything you got going on that you're excited? Anything coming up?
If anything, I guess, like, for me, just, like, my biggest things when it came to, like, this transitional period for me has, like, that I want to take into moving forward, and I feel like have helped, has been just, this is the first time I've had my own place. Like, I've had my own apartment to myself. Mm-hmm. And to be able to, like, keep peace in your home and happiness in your home when everything, like, before in the past, like, there's just so many other elements going on and other, like, you're worried about, like, for example, like, when we were living together, like, I know that I was the odd man out, and, like, you guys had your, like, you know, all of you three were also.
Who?
Your little lady trap.
You lived there before any of them.
Yeah, I know, but...
You were just partying 24/7, so we never saw you.
Yeah. But I just mean, like, just still self-conscious. Like, I recognized when it was happening, like, I was like, oh, God, like, I know that I'm doing this, and, like, I know that I'm, you know. But, and then on top of that, and then living with people before then, being... just like, you know, the feeling of just, like, being nervous about everything around you, but just being able to control your space and, like, making sure, like, you used to always tell me at the beginning of the day that I should, like, meditate or I should be stretching, and, like, doing that stuff and implementing, like, I understand why you told me all the time to do it, because it makes such a difference.
I love that.
In your headspace. Like, I now start every day with, like, lighting my incense in my house and stretching in the sun, like, at my window, and before and after going to the gym, and it just makes such a big difference in my, like, it's so nice to have mental peace and not feel so chaotic. And I know that summer I was definitely, if there was one word to describe me, it was chaotic. And
you probably don't remember because you were so so drunk, but there was one night Mason had, like, this is so random. Oh no, I don't know what made me think of it.
Oh no.
So Mason had some friend over, I don't know who he was.
Oh, I remember.
It was someone that Mason had, like, met when he was in Korea or something. Remember? Yeah. The guy, like, didn't really speak English. And I will never forget, and I don't want to do, like, an accent because I don't want to be inappropriate, but I will never forget him, like, we were sitting beside each other, and he, like, kind of tapped me, and he was like, she is tornado.
Which I
he was like, how do you say? Like, tornado. He's like, it was so funny. Like, I've never met this guy before. You walked in the door and he was immediately like, this girl is tornado.
It was so funny. I remember that guy.
And now you're a little tornado, right?
Now I am. And I like it because, like, even though that's what this is. It says baby tornado on my hand. And also, do you know that my mom, like, all of her friends call my mom, I didn't think of it till after I got it, but all of my mom's friends growing up always called my mom Hurricane Tanya. And then I started being baby tornado, and then once I got the tattoo, I realized, I was like, oh my God, Mom, we're both natural disasters.
We're natural disasters.
But
that's hilarious.
I like, you know, I like remembering that, like, being able to, like, access that part of me, or knowing that part of is in me, and remembering that I am that kind of energy, like, if I want to be, and I don't have to be, like, on a bender this many months. Yeah. Like, it's just nice to know. I don't know all the things zodiac wise, but I know I'm right on the cusp of, like, Gemini and Cancer, and, like, having, like, the 3 personalities going on there is a real thing inside me. And I think that what makes me feel now finally, like, good about myself in every sense of the way is, like, accepting all of those things, like, accepting that, like, in some situations I am too much, or I'm a lot, or other situations, like, overthink and then get in my head, and, like, being okay with all that and not getting mad at myself for all of that, and recognizing that, like, anytime somebody comes to me with, like, criticism on any of it, or, like, appreciation with any of it, like, I get the ability to then, like, adjust and become somebody that I love and don't have to be, like, embarrassed about.
I love that. I also meant to say earlier, because you were talking about how like you wish you could like focus in on one thing, which I get, like from just like there's literally only so many hours in a day.
Yeah.
But along the same lines of like you have more than one personality, like we are all more than one thing. And I think it like maybe it's an American thing, maybe it's a whole world thing, but I think that like for some reason we're all taught that like you must focus in, you must know what you want to do, and you must only do one thing. And it's like we're all so many different things.
So true. And I'm so grateful to have my parents in that regard of like always being okay with me exploring all of these different things. They never told me that like go to a practical route or anything like that. They just always wanted me to like see what was going to happen if I did any of this stuff, because it surprised them and it would surprise me every time. Yeah. And I remember specifically I was having really gnarly imposter syndrome just because of like trying all of these things, and like I don't know, I'm like a professional trier. And I this one friend of mine came to get a tattoo from me, and she said like the sweetest thing to me. She said that she's like, Phia, I just love you so much. You're such a you are the Renaissance artist or something like that, or like such a modern. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, before artists had to be one thing, and now as time has progressed, like people have the ability to be more than one type of artist. You don't have to be a painter, you don't have to be a tattoo artist, you don't have to be a blah blah blah. And she's like, and you just really do them all, and it's so nice that like you get to have that all bleed in together, which is why I got it tattooed on my back, because it made me feel so, like, again, like when something resonates with me and it clicks for me, I like to get it tattooed just as a reminder so I don't forget that you know, that's part of
part of what makes you and unique, and like
you know, just, but
well, I love you. Thanks for coming
I
and
love
chatting
you
with
more.
me. Thanks for coming to Juju's Jungle. Oh shit, I just punched you. Here's the body I've been talking about, y'all. For real, I love you. Thank you so much.
Love you so much.
You're always such a little bright light, even on your bad days. You're always just
well, I don't know what I would do without
Phyllis.
my little witch over here, because you really did. There were so many times where like I remember you FaceTiming me and I would just be like crying, and like you just knew, you know, because I'm not always like this. Like things get me down bad. But if I didn't have friends like you, like Diego, like Marty, who just have this weird sixth sense of being able to like hit me up when I'm going through it, I'm like, how did you know? And I wouldn't be this far in my journey if I didn't have the friends that I have, because you guys have really made me, you know, just appreciate myself for being myself, and like made me see myself in a way that I never saw myself before.
Oh yeah.
And that wouldn't happen without the community that I'm in. Like when I say, like, people talk about their friends, and we talk about our friend group like family, because it is really family. Like
1,000%.
we're all there throughout our ugliest times, like how the kind of phases and stages you've seen me go through, and the ones that I've seen you go through, and all of us. And we just, throughout all of it, it's never like you weren't checking on me, so I'm mad at you. We all understand, like when we go radio silent, when we don't. We just show up sometimes, and that's not what happens in LA. Like, and it takes, you know, putting out a certain kind of energy in order to like be received that way and attract certain
Foreigners. I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right, I love you. Bye. Love you. You also farted. Everybody's farting.